Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Everything Pro Wrestling.
By the fans, for the fans, not many in this can understand, this the podcast to show you who I am, Conrad Cushman, the legend in the plans, please listen every day to the showcase, the opinions and knowledge that anyone can take, showing you how it is done, proving I am number one, what a legend becomes, this is now my time to show you that I am here, this podcast just to make it loud and clear, by the fans, for the fans, not many whose head can understand everything pro wrestling, it can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson, yes.
Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and you are actually getting a live recorded podcast version of your AEW Dynamite August 12th, 2020 show review and results for Tag Team Appreciation Night. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button on all audio platforms. It is greatly appreciated. I have to do a separate recording because my YouTube one crapped the bed, we'll say. We had some audio issues with the last 10 minutes. We had an issue in the beginning where the webcam was locked onto an image of me not sitting in my chair anymore. Everything that went wrong yesterday with the stream could have, but the audio content and the talking quality on there is great. So if you guys want to look it up on YouTube, feel free. You'll get some different perspectives from me and Rob on this episode of the podcast, but we're going to try and make sure that's taken care of going forward. Streamlabs wasn't working well for a lot of people recently. I know Fowl had some big issues with it the exact same day, so not sure why the audio got real crackly. If you guys notice stuff like that and you're in a live chat or a live stream with me, message me, let me know, because I want to get that fixed for you guys as soon as possible. But let's get into AEW Dynamite. This won't be a super long version, kind of abbreviated, but I still got my notes from last night, so I figured, why not? Let's talk AEW Dynamite. We kick off the night with the Young Bucks taking on Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. The beginning of the match, the Dark Order jumped the Young Bucks during their entrance. They did a really good job here of just putting them in a vulnerable position. The Young Bucks were looking down and out very early on, and Matt Jackson does an incredible dive off the stage to give Young Bucks their advantage back. And I thought everything looked really good and flowed well in this match. Stu Grayson, the man is quick. That's all I can tell you guys. Stu Grayson was making moves around the ring that I just couldn't believe. This guy is an unsung hero for AEW. And I'm just talking about the roster on a whole. Like, this dude is really good. And credit to Evil Uno too, man. These guys have great double team maneuvers. Some of the best that I've seen in AEW. They do an excellent job of producing what they can, like, out of nothing. Like, sometimes you'll just see moves get transitioned into power bombs, into double team moves. I will say this, that I think Uno and Grayson could be argued as having one of the best double team sets. Putting it out there. Another thing that I took immediate notice to in this match, they were following the rules more so. Now, are people still getting in the ring? Yes. Are you still getting the double team moves? Yes. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I was more concerned for, okay, you've had 7 people or you've had 5 people in the ring for the same time and nobody's counting till 10. Like, there should have been a DQ already. But when you look at this, it worked. They were counting the 10 counts. They were pushing people out of the ring when they didn't have a tag. They were like, hey, get out. And I think it really helped the heels get the heat, and it helped the baby faces when it was time to come back. So AEW, keep doing this. It worked tonight. It really did. And the officiating, I think they did some small things that really added to making the referees more respectable tonight. And I know that there were some flubs. I saw some people retweeting things today in other matches, and I'll get to that later. But I thought the referees did a good job tonight. So eventually we get to a spot where a move is hit. They were setting up for a double team move. Matt Jackson lands onto someone's shoulders, hits a poison rana, and he gets the hot tag to his brother Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson comes in and says best hot tag in the business, and he comes back doing all these spin kicks. He's going crazy. He knocks down Uno. Him and Grayson are on the outside. He throws Grayson over a barricade, super kicks Evil Uno. Grayson hops onto the barricade thinking he is going to catch Nick Jackson, and he eats a super kick for breakfast, lunch, brunch, and dinner. It was over for those guys after that super kick, so they thought. They end up getting back on the offense eventually here, and what they do is set up a really cool spot here for Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson performs a move that we've seen Ricochet do. I was at SummerSlam when Ricochet did this, so I thought it was amazing then, but still amazing. He walks on Uno and Nick Jackson do a Hurricanrana on Matt. I just thought tremendous. The announce team went crazy for it, and Taz and JR and Tony were just shocked by what they saw. Grayson ends up taking Matt up to the top, I believe, and he throws Matt into the tunnels where they come out for their entrances, and the rest of the Dark Order guys barricade the tunnel. And I thought it was a great symbolism for last week when it was divide and conquer. It worked. It got Mr. Brody the win, so why don't we do that? Then immediately during all of this, they go to set up that backpack stunner finisher that they like to use. I think it's called the Fatality. And they end up getting reversed, and it turns into a roll up. And 1, 2, 3, the Young Bucks get the victory here. Marvelous. Well done. Followed the rules. I know people are going to say it made the Dark Order look like, oh, they always lose. They can't ever win the big one. But I thought they looked good in defeat. I think Uno and Grayson are above where some of the others are in the Dark Order, and I mean that with respect, because I like Reynolds and Silver. I think they were great when they were the Beaver Boys, but Uno, Grayson, and Brody are like the main three, I feel, for this group. And yeah, really good match, so I'm not mad at it. Plot thickens later, though. The tag team division was on point tonight. MJF comes out. He actually comes out and he yells at somebody saying, hey, speak when spoken to. He's still doing his whole presidential campaign thing. And MJF actually pushes someone like Samoa Joe did to him a while back on NXT. I believe it was for a takeover. And MJF does the exact same thing. I retweeted a video of like a side-by-side while it was happening. And everyone was like, oh, is that why MJF's a jerk? Perhaps. It really worked well here. And they go to a commercial, and they're coming back from this, and it's gonna go right back into MJF. But I want to mention this in the order it happened. Tag team appreciation. They asked Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page favorite tag team. Kenny Omega says the Young Bucks, and Page looks a little confused. They're still teasing this dissension between them. And Page said, I was gonna say us as the favorite tag team. And they bicker a little bit back and forth about it. I think this is leading to something. Who knows what? Maybe it culminates it all out. Maybe it happens before. But things are happening right now in AEW, especially with the tag titles. Will Page and Kenny Omega be able to stand each other past All Out as tag team champions is the question. So MJF comes out and he does this whole presidential campaign speech again. Not really downplaying, like advocating for the title shot. He's got it. So now he's telling Moxley, like, oh, you're mad because I won't do the job for you, and lay down and look up at the lights. And he cuts his promo laying down. MJF is hated. I mentioned this on the YouTube show yesterday that when my dad and mother-in-law were watching, casual fans, they could see what the story was here, that this guy's a jerk, rich jerk, versus the champion who seems like he's kind of like a grungier type of character. And that's Moxley. And it's just, who do you get behind? Most people are going to get behind Moxley. Very, very different for casuals to just look at it like that. It was so simple to them, the story, and I love it. It just made me say, yes, this is what pro wrestling is. Now, during all of this, Moxley's music hit. So he tells everybody who's in his cabinet, go up and make sure you block him from getting down. He tells Lee Johnson, Wardlow, everybody in there, like, go to the entrance. You know that idiot comes out from there. He comes out from the regular entrance ramp for the first time, and Moxley puts a beat down on MJF and gives him a paradigm shift. He goes to the back and cuts a great promo. He gets a microphone from the Dusty position, where you can see Tony Khan in the background. If you look to your left during this, you see him. I think he's in like an inner circle shirt and some shorts. And Moxley cuts a great promo back. And this dude is good, man. I really love Moxley and MJF on the microphone. This was money. Great job by both of these guys. And we continue with the promos into the next segment. We have Matt Hardy talking about Sammy Guevara, and he is talking about his little weird ass for some reason. And he's talking about how he's going to kick his little weird ass. And Matt Hardy just cuts this promo. Not as good as his promo on YouTube, by the way. But I think Matt got his point across with this. And during all of this, he thought he saw Sammy walking by. It turns out it's a referee instead. He throws the referee without knowing into the garage door and slams his head into it over and over and over again. I don't know if this is leading to a first blood match or a match at the Hardy compound. Perhaps I would be down with either or, but Matt Hardy beats down the referee and they tell him to get out of here. I don't know if this is going to mean a fine or suspension for Matt Hardy, but they said he can't return until I think it was 10 days. So, man, just wild. I thought that they did a good job of highlighting the packages from last week. That blood really added to this feud, and I know it wasn't on purpose when they did it, but it really added to making this something special. Next up, we have the TNT Championship match. Cody with the entire Nightmare family coming out with him versus Scorpio Sky. Now, earlier in the day, we saw the TNT Championship revealed for the first time, and I thought that was pretty cool to see. The TNT Championship was featured. Not mad at it at all. Looked really good here. And I like the new look of it. So they've added some gold around it. The AEW logo is proper filled in now with the black, white, and gold. The championship still has like this reflection mirror. Rob brought it up. It's like a champion looking back at himself. I think it works. You could do some great things with this. Cody seemed happy once he got the title. Scorpio Sky, though, he gets a special entrance here, too, with a door being put up, and he kicks down the door because that's what he said he was going to do in his promo. He is kicking down the door, and he is ready to do something here. Referee for this match is referee Mike Chioda, 33 years in the business. Mike Chioda worked for the WWE, and he is here in AEW, and I thought Mike Chioda did a great job here, minus the botch finish where he counts to 4. I think Mike Chioda did good here. He looked good. He was authoritative. He did his part. And I would really like to see him added to the referees if they can afford it, if it's worth it to them. Why not? Bring Mike Chioda in. Scorpio Sky ends up winning the first exchange between him and Cody. Cody looks like he has this look of desperation. We've been noticing each week, Cody looks like he wants to turn heel. Did he really need to bring the whole Nightmare family out there? Did he have to make Justin Roberts call him the Prince of Pro Wrestling? I think these are heelish things leading to something. Cody's ribs become the focus here. He hurt them last week against the ring post, and Scorpio Sky does the exact same thing, pulls Cody's ribs into the ring post and causes a lot of problems for him. They did a great spot in the middle of the match here where there was a superplex, and Scorpio Sky ended up like hooking Cody for a roll up. I thought at this point it could have been almost over, but it wasn't. They actually had a nice kick out here. Then we have Scorpio Sky hit his like slingshot cutter into the ring. He sets Cody up for the TKO. Cody counters it though into a crossroads. 1, 2. Scorpio kicked out. I thought it was wonderful how they did that spot. And Cody ends up going for another crossroads after blocking the slingshot attempt again for the cutter, the slingshot cutter for Scorpio Sky. Crossroads, 1, 2, 3. Cody gets the win. Now, on last night's YouTube stream, Rob brought up a great point. He said that he would have reversed the 2 crossroads because once he hit the second one, it felt anticlimactic a little bit. Like, okay, he didn't hit it fully. All right. I think if they would have reversed those 2, like he kicks out of the weaker looking one, but then when he hit that crossroads out of the TKO 1, 2, 3, I think it would have worked a lot better. But needless to say, I still think this was a great match, telling a good story here. And as Cody is getting his championship, we see a shadowy figure appear on the Tron, and he has a championship belt. And it's Mr. Brody Lee of the Dark Order telling Cody that, yeah, you missed this title, don't you? And he said, you can have it back next week after I take that one. So they're hyping up this August 22nd show, which is a Saturday. And that is going to play into a lot of the what's going on with AEW schedule. The NBA playoffs are happening. So AEW is going to have to kind of take a back seat to that because TNT wants their NBA views. They pay a lot of money for the NBA content every year. I get it. So Dynamite next week will be on a Saturday, which is also the same Saturday as NXT TakeOver 30. Right now, we're probably going to do a hybrid stream. Not completely sure. Rob said he was going to put out a poll, but right now the plan is hybrid stream. We're going to talk NXT TakeOver 30 next Saturday on YouTube, and then we are going to incorporate AEW Dynamite into that review afterwards. Lots and lots and lots of wrestling to talk about. So Brody Lee challenging for the title again. I think it's an interesting spot to put him in. I don't want to see Brody Lee like lose again too, though. I don't know. This is going to be really tough for what they're going to do. Next, we have Private Party, and they are talking about their love for tag team wrestling. And if you believe all the rumors and all the stories, Private Party actually vibed and connected because of the Hardy Boys, specifically Jeff Hardy. But Private Party share their love for the Hardy Boys and how that's their favorite tag team. They're one of mine as well. And I really like that they're putting this theme of tag team appreciation on blast and letting all of the tag teams currently talk about it. Pretty cool, in my opinion. Now, next up, we have the AEW Tag Team Title match. We have Kenny Omega getting ready to team up with his partner, Hangman Page, versus the Jurassic Express. This is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus with Marco. Things to pay attention to in this match. We remember last time they had the 6-man tag. Kenny had a problem with Marco a little bit, took things a little too far. Well, in this match, Kenny slaps Marco across the face playfully. And just seems so weird that he would do something like that. They're teasing a Kenny Omega heel turn. I'm telling you, they want it to happen. And during the match, they have a great back and forth between these two teams. And the first thing that I noticed where something crazy kind of happened was Kenny Omega slides out of the ring, hits a dragon suplex to Marco Stunt for no reason. Why did you have to do that to Marco? Jungle Boy dives. He gets caught by Kenny and gets caught with a dragon suplex as well. They really went in on this match, and they were trying to do some different things here. And afterwards, Luchasaurus tossed Marco out onto Kenny. The referee was fully distracted this time. Usually every week I have a complaint saying, come on, you got to make sure that the ref doesn't see this, because half the time the ref is looking right at you while there's some interference or some cheating going on and they don't do anything. Drives me crazy. But they did a good job this week with making sure the ref wasn't looking. And eventually Jungle Boy gets caught with the last call, which is the V-trigger buckshot lariat combo. He gets caught and gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3. Omega and Page retain. And I think we're getting to the point of where this tag title reign is beginning to bubble a little bit. They're going to be put to the test soon. Interesting, I'll say, right now, to see where they go with this. And you look at how everything is playing out. I feel like FTR's got to be the team to challenge them for it, but I feel like the Young Bucks are in the mix as well. And we can get into why in a little bit here, but pretty interesting what they have going on here. And for the last segment before we take a break and hear a word from our sponsors, let's talk about Santana and Ortiz. Dude, Santana and Ortiz destroyed the Best Friends' luggage, ring gear, clothes. They are shown backstage saying that, yeah, you told us to apologize. And they said, what would we look like doing that? So they open all their ring gear, throw it in the shower, and they dump bleach on it. And after they dump the bleach on it, they turn on the water and they say, we're not apologizing for nothing. So this war over Sue's van is getting real, and Trent is not going to be happy. I like this. It's a small little thing to start a feud over, but I think it works for what the best friends are. And I like the edge on Santana and Ortiz now. Like, they have this tougher side showing out. They did a few goofy things with the Inner Circle for a few weeks. And since Sammy's come back, I feel like they've got their edge back a little bit. So I like it. I respect it. I'm looking forward to this tag match when these two teams lock up. But in the meantime, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. You'll hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with the rest of your AEW Dynamite review. Stay with us.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
Everything Pro Wrestling, it's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast and Facebook group. I'm Josh Burton, letting you all know that if you like the college game, that there's only one spot to come find all you need to know.
Yep, Josh, Peyton, and myself, Tyler. We are the three voices of ECB podcast and Facebook group. Peyton, tell them where they can find us and listen to us at.
Well, Tyler, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast hosting sites. Also, go join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups like Everything College Basketball.
So if you want everything you need to know about the collegiate game or have a passion for it, there's only one spot that you need to check out on a weekly basis or a daily basis with the Facebook group. That's Everything College Basketball. Now let's get back to Conrad informing you on everything pro wrestling and the workings around it.
Brother.
All right. Big shout out to our sponsors, Powerslam.tv and Everything College Basketball. And if you guys didn't know, we're also sponsored by Manscaped. You guys can go to manscaped.com and type in the promo code EPW show and save yourselves 20%. That's always the promo code for everything. It's EPW show. Save yourselves 20% on Manscaped. We got the Lawnmower 3.0. They have plenty of great accessories for all of your growing grooming needs. So make sure you go there and save yourselves 20%. Like I said, it would be a great gift for someone for their birthday. We know sooner than later, actually, we're going to have Christmas coming up. You got back to school stuff coming up. Who knows what's going on with how the world is today, but go to Manscaped, check it out. Also, TeePublic, you guys can get yourselves some EPW gear. I know they're having a sale coming up here for $13 for a shirt. So if you've been waiting to get yourself an Everything Pro Wrestling shirt, do that. We are also working on some new designs. And if you want some different material, you can go to What For Apparel as well. Guys, we have stickers for laptops. Spend $3. It still supports the show. It's all greatly appreciated with you guys. So thank you so much for supporting Everything Pro Wrestling. Now, back in the AEW Dynamite, we go to the Butcher and Blade backstage, and they're talking about their favorite tag team, and they listed the Road Warriors as one of their inspirational teams. I could see that with Butcher and Blade, the Build, representing the 716 here in Buffalo. Really good stuff here, though, that they brought up the Road Warriors. Love it. And then we get the tag team appreciation segment here. We had FTR and the Bucks and the Brainbusters, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and the Rock and Roll Express in the ring. And they go in there and they're just talking about how great everything is. The Bucks say, like, hey, we became one of the best tag teams because we watched the Rock and Roll Express. So thank you guys for paving the way for us. And, you know, they're all just blowing smoke. Arn's like, yeah, I'm not here to blow smoke because I don't like the taste of smoke. And you know how Arn gets. And I thought he was doing a great job. And then Tully got the microphone and the mood changed instantly. Tully started talking about what happened last year where Arn came in and spine busted Sean Spears, and things got out of hand. And he said, how are you guys talking about you're the best tag team? And I don't see either one of you with gold. And Tully was making some good points. Sean Spears comes out, and then all hell breaks loose. People are attacking. There's a little bit of a pull apart. Arn has already left the ring. Craziness ensues. And during all of this, Dax Hardwood, who was Scott Dawson, falls onto the floor, and he's grabbing his knee from that injury that we talked about last week on the podcast. And all of a sudden, they attack the Rock and Roll Express. So Robert Gibson goes flying over the top rope, and Ricky Morton gets grabbed and eats a spike pile driver. He goes down. This basically established to me that FTR are heels. Paige and Omega come out saying, what's happening here? The Bucks are out there checking on people. I think at All Out, we're getting ourselves a triple threat tag team match for the tag titles. Really fun stuff here. They really did a great job here. The Rock and Roll Express were tremendous in this. Ricky Morton cuts a great promo, and he took a great pile driver, man. I got to give him his props on that. Now we go backstage where we see Alex Marvez with Mike Chioda talking about his 33 years as an official. And here comes Le Champion, Chris Jericho, saying, Kiki. I don't know why he called Mike Chioda Kiki. He said, remember when I saved your job in WWE? He didn't say WWE. He said, remember when I saved your job 18 years ago? And Jericho is basically trying to butter him up because he's going to need a favor for tonight. And he said, yeah. And he was like, I'm going to save your job again tonight. So Marvez catches all of that. So it looks like Chioda's going to be the referee in the main event match. Next, we get a match with Hikaru Shida versus Heather Monroe. This was an okay match. This was above a squash match. They were in there for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And Shida picked up the win with the stretch muffler, also bending the arm at the same time. And Shida's asking for competition. I saw teases earlier today that let's have Thunder Rosa face Shida, I think, at All Out if you can. If not, if it's got to be someone on the roster, I say go with Nyla Rose in the rematch from Double or Nothing. Can't beat it. I know a lot of people are upset about the women and their position and everything else in AEW. I think it's a tough position to be in. You got a lot of people who are international who aren't there. And at the same token, the women's division has not been the best division. And I get people want it showcased more, but you cannot showcase something that you have fans and people saying this is the worst part about your product. Why would you showcase that? So I think it's a slowly but surely thing. Let these guys work on it. I know that they also have the whole AEW Deadly Draw tournament finals coming up, and we're going to talk about that here in 1 second. But I got to go to this Jake the Snake promo really quick. Jake the Snake and Lance Archer are shown backstage. What the hell is Lance Archer doing? They have him, but they're not using him really, it feels like. They've been using him in like this bully kind of role, just beating up everybody. Some dude like stepped on his Puma and he just went crazy on him, and he should have just let it slide. Kidding, Chris Rock reference. But he ends up beating down this dude while Jake's cutting a promo. Jake's cutting a pretty decent promo here, and I felt it was weird towards the end. Lance Archer walks up. He said, did you tell him yet? He said, well, no. He said, did you show him? No. And he rips open Jake the Snake's shirt, and Jake turns around and he lifts it up, and on Jake's back in Sharpie it says everybody dies, and Lance Archer says the exact same thing. I don't know. It felt weird that he was bullying Jake like that. It looked very, very weird. I don't know where they're going with this. Hopefully that just came off the wrong way. Maybe, perhaps. But very weird promo from Lance Archer. I like the one better from when he threw the guy through the roof and slammed the dude in the trash can, Freshman Friday style. So next Dynamite, as we said earlier, August 22nd. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TNT. So let's look at the matches that we have. So we have FTR taking on Private Party. We've got Omega and the Bucks, the Elite, taking on 3 members of the Dark Order, which will be Angels, Reynolds, and Silver. We have the Deadly Draw finals in this. So we'll either see Big Swole, Lil Swole, or the Nightmare Sisters move on from their bracket. And we also still have Ivelisse and Diamante versus Tay Conti and Anna Jay. So we'll have the finals. I'm sure the Nightmare Sisters will be in there, but who knows what could happen with all of this. Yeah, we'll have to see what goes on August 22nd for that. Darby Allin will be in action. We also have the Lucha Bros and the Butcher and Blade in 8-man tag team action, taking on the Natural Nightmares and their tag team partners of the Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy in the house. And we have Cody versus Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. Not a bad card for the August 22nd show. Not wowing me either, but like I said, not a bad card. Let's get into the main event match. We've got freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. As the picture shows here on the podcast version of it, hopefully you guys can see it. We've got $7,000 on the line. That is how much Chris Jericho's jacket cost that Orange Cassidy ruined. And I swear I saw it online for like $100, but needless to say, Jericho said it cost $7,000, so that's what's on the line for the match. Inner Circle and Best Friends have been banned from this match. This match wasn't the greatest showing for either guy, but I think it still got the job done, and the timing of it felt off too. It felt a little bit rushed. You didn't really get to enjoy the moment, but let's talk about it. Orange Cassidy started off very aggressive in the match. He battles back and forth. Jericho gets the upper hand, hits a code breaker for a near fall. And during the match, Jericho brought out his bat Floyd, and he goes to grab it in the match. And during it, he told Mike Chioda to turn around. And Chioda actually turned his back, and they were like, oh, I knew Chioda was a coward, Taz said. And when Jericho goes to finally swing the bat, Chioda grabs it from him. And it leads to a roll-up for a near fall for Orange Cassidy. And he ends up hitting what is now called the Orange Punch, which was the Superman Punch. And during this, Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz are brawling on the stage. So they technically did not come ringside. So they're fighting on the stage. But Jake Hager comes into the ring and does his little big slam, like power slam on Orange Cassidy. Jericho goes for the pin, and I thought it could have been over there for a second, but he only gets a 2 count. And during all of this, Jericho setting up for the Judas effect. He goes for it, but misses. And Orange Cassidy puts Jericho in a move called the Mousetrap, and he pins Jericho for the 3. It did not go as gracefully as people would have wanted, but Orange Cassidy gets the 3 count here. Not a bad night for Orange. It felt really good to see him get a victory here over Chris Jericho. I think this is going to lead to a 6-man tag match at All Out. Why not have Jericho and Santana and Ortiz, I almost called them their old name there for a second, take on the Best Friends in Orange Cassidy. Have it be like a street fight or a parking lot brawl or something. I think we could get some really dope action out of this. So, not bad, not mad at it at all. I thought this was a solid episode of AEW Dynamite, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, guys. Thank you for listening to me talk about some pro wrestling real quick. Next week, we'll be back. And like I said, next Wednesday, I'm going to do a review of NXT. So make sure you tune into the YouTube channel, subscribe as well there, and turn on the notifications so you guys can join us as we get ready to talk some NXT next week. All right, but for the rest of today, you guys have a good day. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll be back. And thank you for listening to Everything Pro Wrestling. Peace.
Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes. By the fans, for the fans, not many in this can understand, this the podcast to show you who I am, Conrad Cushman, the legend in the plans, please listen every day to the showcase, the opinions and knowledge that anyone can take, showing you how it is done, proving I am number one, what a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here, this podcast just to make it loud and clear, by the fans, for the fans, not many whose head can understand everything pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson, yes. Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes.